Sean.
Laura. Kristen.
Brian.
Kate.
David.
Cindy.
Dan.
Alright, I'm Todd. I'll be talking about texting and driving. How many people here admit to texting and driving? Majority of you. Statistics say that about 1.6 million accidents occur due to texting and driving. It's about an average of 11 teens a day that die from fatalities. There's three main points I want to talk about. What penalties there are to people who text and drive, how much more distracted people are that text and drive, and people who are opposed to texting and drive laws being passed. The first point I want to talk about is the effects of texting and driving. There are not laws in place now that severely ban texting and driving, but they're making steps in the right direction. Up until recently, it was, if you're under 17, it was a primary offense and secondary for 18. A primary offense is jail time, 1 to 2 years, and a secondary offense is minimal jail time, anywhere from 3 days to 30 days.
Show yourself too. Show yourself.
The second point I want to talk about is how much more texting and driving is compared to unimpaired driving. It is statistically known as the most dangerous form of distracted driving, passing drunk driving. It takes about a half of a second to brake unimpaired. And as you get into the more severe things, when you're drunk, it takes about 4 extra feet in addition to come to a complete stop. 36 feet while you're sending an email, and for texting and driving, it's about 70 extra feet added to that time, which is a significant difference looking at it that way. The last point, there are people who do not want texting and driving laws, number one being truck drivers. Truck drivers rely on PDAs and intercoms to get to their destination. When they have to stop and pull over and check all these devices to make sure they're en route, it takes into their pay. Every time a truck driver stops on the side of the road, it costs them about $1.50 of their pay for stopping. It comes out because they get paid by the run and the amount of time they make it in. Semis, they account for 12% of the highway fatalities. That's pretty small chunk, making them stop all the time, taking money out of the working man's pocket, just to check map routes and converse with dispatch along those things. In conclusion, texting and driving is, the most dangerous form of distracted driving. No severe penalties are in place as of now, but I feel like we need to make steps in that direction. A Kansas University professor, Paul Ashley, stated, if driving drunk is a 400% increased chance of death, then texting and driving is about a 2,300% chance of a greater crash risk. So by no means is that acceptable to text and drive, because no text is worth it at all for your life with that increased chance. Some of the sources I use, the first is from the website Governor's Highway of the Safety Association, in the article State Cell Phone Use and Texting While Driving. The second source is Texting Drivers Involved in Serious and Fatal Crashes by Sarah Koch, Deidre Cohen, and Nina Taylor. And the third is Texting and Driving Worse Than Drinking and Driving by Philip LeBeau. Thank you and have a great afternoon.